John Cena dropped the pipe bomb of the year or even of his retirement tour? Welcome to the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast. This is Sean, joined, of course, by Mr. T. Reese today. We're going to discuss Cena channeling his 2011 CM Punk and dropping all the truth bombs as well as everything else that went on in the Friday, June 20th episode of SmackDown. Let's get right into it. That not even into the match, but that ending segment where Punk and Cena went on was what does that mean for the rest of Cena's retirement tour and his quest to ruin wrestling? I mean, how much does the fact that he called out all the people that he did and the goofiness of that entire segment? What do you think, T?
Man, might have been the promo of the year right there so far. You know, because he didn't hold nothing back, but I didn't expect it. I don't know how many people expected that to happen, but I did not. I mean, he hit. I mean, the funny thing was that CM Punk couldn't respond because that's the position they put him in.
Yep.
But I mean, that was insane. I mean, that was insane. He told him, he said, "You change your minds as much as I change my t-shirts."
Almost every one of his lines hit.
No, the best line was, "Remember who gave you the stage to do the pipe bomb. Don't forget that. I'm the one that gave you the stage for that." And he basically just put CM Punk in his place. I'm actually shocked that CM Punk even agreed to let him do that because, I mean, if anything, you could change the perspective of fans because if you notice, the crowd started cheering for John.
That was something I was going to bring up. The crowd in general in Grand Rapids was probably in honor of Mike's love of talking about the crowds. The crowd there was pretty hot, pretty much through the night, and they 100% felt like they were turning in Cena's favor. And Cena even called him out on it. Did you notice that? He made the comment to Punk where it seems like crowds are turning his way.
Yep. They're starting to change the direction and. I mean, there was nothing. He even called out other wrestlers.
That's the part that got me. You're calling out people in other promotions, and I get that they work with TNA, so that one's not as concerning like the Nemeth comment. But the calling out of
Matt Cardona,
and of Claudio Castagnoli, who's in their biggest competitor. I mean, as much as we can call AEW their competitor. And then I don't know if you saw any of the talk about it, but there's a lot of conspiracy talk going on about the fact that the people whose names he picked, Matt and Nick, was a shot at the competition there.
How so?
The Young Bucks, Matt and Nick.
Oh, got you. Indirectly calling them out.
As much as I despise wrestling Twitter because it's obnoxious, it's been all over wrestling Twitter today. People talking about this conspiracy that he was taking a shot directly at AEW, which coming from Cena is a surprise, and I kind of like it. I think it brings a lot.
That's if it was that. I mean, it could very well. Anybody can find a conspiracy in anything that's being said.
Even bringing up Cesaro, though. That's enough of a shot. You know what I mean? You're directly calling out somebody who's involved in some of their biggest storylines.
Yeah, I listen. That pipe bomb of the year.
As of right now, I agree, and I think it was one of. I mean, Cena has always had a way with words, but I honestly think this was probably his best promo ever.
He delivered it was perfection.
Yes, the way he was sitting up in the corner there. And I think the big thing that sold it too, like you said, was the fact that Punk couldn't respond. The fact that he's laying there in the middle of the ring.
Exactly. And then and the other one was you used to be the voice of the voiceless. But you're a millionaire despite
you're a millionaire.
You can't do both.
Yep. I like you said though. I think I agree. I like his line. I think besides the T-shirt line, the line about remember who gave you the stage for the pipe bomb, I think was probably my favorite line out of it.
That's it. And that was mic drop after that.
I really wish he would have actually dropped the mic though at the end. Before he came back and swore at which I don't get, like, they bleeped a part of it and then he censored himself for a part of it. I wish he would have just swore and they censored it. Like, that was
Yeah.
kind of dumb. But I guess my question is, does this lend any more intrigue to their match coming up at Night of Champions? Because as of right now, we've talked about it on the last couple episodes. As of right now, it was kind of predictable. Is
Yeah.
it still as predictable?
Yeah. I mean, he said he's here till he's here to the end of the year. He said
He
right there
is.
on the microphone. So what else are you going to do with him during that time?
He doesn't have to have the title, does he?
Yeah, but what else is he going to do? I mean, what's going to draw you to want to watch him wrestle somebody next?
Because I mean, what's to say that Ron Killings doesn't help Punk win?
Oh, I mean, it's possible. I mean, after what Cena did.
I think
But
my point was just, does this make the fact that that pretty much we thought this was a foregone conclusion any better to take? You know what I mean?
yeah. But I mean, who knows? But I just don't know how you keep John interesting without having something for someone to fight him for.
I mean, we all pretty much agreed that he's probably going to lose it at SummerSlam. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that as we go through the show here. But so yeah, obviously that ending segment was the main talk of the show. But overall, this was probably one of the better SmackDowns so far this year as a show as a whole. At least one of the top two. Night started out, LA Knight coming out with a microphone and basically calling out Seth Rollins and his crew. What do we think of that? I mean, we were talking, I think, an episode or two ago about how kind of felt like LA Knight was starting to hit his apex and come down. Do you think him getting into a segment with Rollins is going to be able to get him back up again?
Well, my understanding is that from what I've been hearing and reading on reports, some of the top guys even confirm it that TKO is very happy with him, and this is why he's getting this this extra push after WrestleMania, because they want to do more with him. So he's in the favor of TKO right now. So I don't think he's in danger of losing his job or his role on the roster right now, so long as he keeps putting on a show. I mean, the match he had that night, we'll get to it, but it was a good match. It was a good match. I mean, you can't deny it.
He's so damn good on the mic too. I mean, that whole segment with Heyman, and if you can hold your own with Paul Heyman, that says something about your promo skills.
Mm-hmm.
And him saying he was going to beat Heyman's ass was pretty funny too.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, big shock. Bronson Reed and Ron came out. He did fight them off, and that set up a match later in the night for Bronson Reed versus LA Knight. We'll get to that when we come to it. Mm-hmm. So the first actual match of the night was the semifinals for the Women's Queen of the Ring of Alexa Bliss versus Asuka. And man, these two, after them being away for so long, being able to see them not just back but in the ring with each other, mm-hmm. I totally forgot they were tag team champions together at one point. Mm-hmm. But they put on a hell of a match, and Asuka obviously ended up winning. I think I would have been fine with either person winning, because I think I already know what's going to happen. We'll talk about that in our next promo segment. But the Asuka winning, I think, is great for having just literally come back. A 2-win streak is pretty good to start. Mm-hmm. I don't like her new finishing move. Like, I'm not a big fan of the Empress Impact.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of some of the crap that Naomi pulled when she did the rear window.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think the match was fantastic. I think it was damn near 4 to 5 stars myself. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it was definitely a good match. It's good to see 2 seasoned women in the ring. We've been seeing them trying to like drag along some of the newer people, trying to get them situated to the speed and the pace that the main roster runs by. It was a good match. I didn't expect Charlotte to beat her straight up, though. I mean, we're so used to having those type of matches on, a SmackDown or a Raw where somebody interferes in it or it doesn't finish. That I think it was more shocking that we got a finish in a match between 2 veterans. So
yeah, definitely not.
Hats off to WWE to kind of changing the pace a little bit. I don't think it mattered who won or lost this match because they already had a storyline between them two that's brewing anyway. So are they? Sounds like to me, could they be forming them as some sort of tag team to take place of Raquel and Liv?
So I do think that I've been saying I think that Alexa and Charlotte are going to end up taking the tag titles. I think that's just with I don't see where else that story's going, especially with like their interactions backstage and everything.
So you think they're going to team up?
I do. I think they're going to end up teaming up, and they're going to end up winning the tag titles.
Yeah.
I think at this point with Liv out, I don't know if they've put a time frame on it yet, but for a separated shoulder, I know it's like 4 to 16 weeks. They have to strip them of the titles. Like they can't go that long with them not defending it. So I'm hoping they do either like a tournament or some sort of like multi-team match at Evolve or Evolution, which is what I think 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out.
Yeah.
And so
Night of Champions next weekend, right?
Yeah, so 2 weeks. I think you have enough time to start building that up and actually put together Charlotte and Alexa and have them win the titles there. I think and having two veterans like that holding the titles and with the will they won't they of do they hate each other or not will make for a good storyline.
So you think that they're so who they're going to team up with? Raquel is going to be Roxanne.
Raquel is, yeah. Actually, honestly, if I'm fantasy booking here, you start teaming Raquel and Roxanne up, or actually, that's what they could do instead of stripping them of the titles. Have Roxanne fill in, and the storyline be that over the time that Liv is out, Raquel and Roxanne start getting along so well. Liv comes back and is jealous of the whole situation.
Or the other way you can go, and if I'm fantasy booking, if I might say so myself, is have them lose the belts and they blame Roxanne for them losing the belts.
Yeah. I think either of those ways make storyline sense. You can utilize it. You want to go a good way or a bad way. I guess it depends on what they want to do with the Judgment Day. If they want to keep the belts in the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
I do think those women tag belts do need to be defended more. And I feel like it's the one thing I feel about them having them on the Judgment Day is a bad thing, is you don't really see the Judgment Day travel a lot. I think putting it on something like Alexa and Charlotte, you'll see them across potentially all three shows.
Well, getting back to your point about those women's tag belts aren't really wrestled for a lot. Neither really are the men's. So they have a problem across their entire tag division on both shows that they got to iron out still. So
on Raw especially.
Yeah, Raw especially. They're just like, I don't know what they're doing with the tag. I don't even think like you said, they don't exist on Raw. They're just props.
They did announce that the New Day would be defending them in Saudi Arabia, but we haven't. What are we going to get a contender 1 week before? Where's the story?
Well, I got a feeling because there's a lot of talk about TKO or USA and TKO want to move LA Knight to Raw.
Yep. I heard that.
Maybe there's something brewing without doing that draft where they're just going to start moving some pieces around and trying to get something fresh going on each one of the shows, because they do need to do something with the rosters on each one of these shows because they've already ran out of their storylines for both their shows. Yep. Outside of the Cena and the Seth thing, everything underneath that, it's just wash and repeat for everybody.
Yeah, give it a refresh by moving. It doesn't even have to be a ton of people. Just move a couple of people around. Yeah. Move LA Knight, which, like you said, I've heard those same talks that they want to move him to Raw, which makes sense if he's going to be feuding with Rollins.
Well, they're going to move also a couple of their tag, guys over there too.
Even if you move people, I mean, we're 1 week out from Night of Champions. No matter who you put as the opponents to the New Day, it's going to feel rushed. Unless they come out and do like an open challenge or something. And actually, that's a good way of moving somebody over to Raw. Have them come out and do an open challenge and have a SmackDown tag team accept. Have like the Machine Guns accept.
But let me ask you, does it really matter though? If they just strip it off them, in like some sort of squash match, does it really matter? They're not doing anything anyway. We want the belts off them. I can care less. However, which way they take the belts off New Day, I'm fine. If they give it the J treatment, I'm fine.
Are we in agreement that we think those tag belts should be on Bronson and Braun?
I think eventually that's where it's going. I don't know how soon though.
Do you think they be the ones who take the belts off of the New Day?
No, New Day won't wrestle them, the two heels.
I mean, they could.
No, I mean, he could, but they're not going to. They don't have.
We've seen it before. I mean, we've seen the New Day wrestled American Made in their heels.
Yeah, but see, I that's a good point. But the problem with them is that that's only wrestling. That's only tag teams they have over there.
Yeah,
so they're going to wrestle other than the Viking Warriors. I mean, there's only three.
And Judgment Day, Viking Warriors, New Day, and then now Bronson and Braun.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care really count Judgment Day. They pick and choose whenever they're going to get for whoever's going to get a belt. They're not consistent when it comes to that division.
I think the days are numbered for the Judgment Day anyway. But we got off on a tangent there. I think the point is that the Raw tag team or the WWE tag teams need to be adjusted so there's more equivalency between the shows.
Absolutely.
So after the Asuka and Alexa match, we got a promo backstage of it was Jade, Michin, and B-Fab, I believe. And B-Fab and Michin talking about how they want to go after the tag titles. But I think the bigger part for me is I think the promo that Jade cut was probably the best promo she's cut yet. I think she sounded way more confident than she normally does. And she just came across as a lot more like, I think it was the confidence. It's like she came across better this time than she has in a lot of her other promos. I really think it was her best one.
Well, I mean, she didn't talk a whole lot. I mean,
no.
For the little bit she talked, and we probably got a little more out of her her conversation than we have in the past. But I mean, it's baby steps. That's why I'm kind of questioning whether or not, because remember we were talking about how we think they're going to put a belt on her soon. I don't know.
That was going to lead to my next point.
Yeah, I don't think she's ready yet because they're still spoon feeding her. They're still giving her, they're sitting her in the high chair and still giving her a little bit of this, a little bit of that, just to get her feet wet. And it doesn't sound like I don't think they're ready for her to be a champion yet.
So obviously the quarterfinal is next week for her versus Roxanne, I believe, on Raw. So my personal thoughts is I think she wins the whole thing because I think she wins the title at SummerSlam. Jade, that is.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think she holds the title. I think she wins it, and I think Naomi cashes in on her that night. Because yes, you can put the title on. You can put the title on her, but she doesn't have to hold it for. She had to hold it for what, 3 minutes? And then Naomi takes it, and it gets roundabout, circle back to the Naomi and Jade and even Bianca storyline that we never got an actual ending to.
Well, that's if they even do it, because don't forget now she also crossed paths with Tiffany.
Oh yeah, she keeps trying to cash in on Tiffany. We'll talk about that when we get to that segment. But I think she's going to keep failing, and that's why I think she's going to cash in on Jade.
Well, they keep showing her going after various people and warning various people. So I'm just wondering, who knows? I mean, maybe they may not do it at SummerSlam. Maybe they will. I mean, I'm in agreement with you. It's probably the best place to do it. I do like that storyline of having Jade, win it, and then she'd lose it right after to Naomi. I do like that because she's been attempting. This might be the most attempts I've seen of anyone with the Money in the Bank briefcase in a long time. Usually we're watching people just strutting around with it, doing promos with it, and all this other stuff. She tried on 2 shows in a row.
Yep.
She tried.
Part of me thinks they're going to turn that into a storyline, and she's going to keep trying every week and keep getting blocked or failing.
Here comes Naomi again. He's going after this. Yeah, I can see it. You could probably ride that all the way out to SummerSlam.
Yep. And I mean, the last time there was somebody who kept trying and getting blocked this badly, I think it was Austin Theory.
Yeah. And they kind of I think they kind of fumbled that with him anyway. So
yeah, when they had him go after the Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
Stupid.
They just had him going after any odd title. I'm just like this. He's another one they're failing, by the way. I don't know what they're doing with the poor kid.
Waller.
Well, my understanding, he was more of a Vince guy. Vince wanted him more than anything. He wanted, what they say he wanted to turn him into the new John Cena, which I don't know if he has the personality to do that. I mean, probably he'd be very storyline driven in order to get fans to really buy into that.
Yeah.
Which means it's not going to be really organic, so it's not going to last long. So who knows? But anyways, getting off the track. But
honestly, I wish he would go with Seth Rollins.
Well, I mean, at the end of this, we get done talking about this episode. I had a question for you.
Yeah. So yeah, I think, like I said, that's what I think happened with Jade. Next up, we had Kit Wilson, where it turns out his tag partner in Pretty Deadly is apparently injured. So was out there going to do some solo action against Aleister Black, other than the fact that the match never happened at all because he was attacked by a man in a hooded sweatshirt who obviously wasn't R-Truth. It was Ron Killings. Beat him up, got taken away by the crowd or by the security. And I mean, I'm not going to lie. I kind of wanted to see Aleister Black and Kit Wilson because you know what we haven't seen in a while is a really good old-fashioned squash match. Like a straight up one against somebody who you know has zero chance whatsoever. And
what happened, isn't it?
What was that?
Was that kind of like a squash match, though?
It wasn't a match at all.
That's my point. It was just kind of like, okay, no, we're not really doing this, but we just need to get a storyline moved.
I wouldn't have minded seeing Aleister come out and just beat the hell out of him and squash him. But I like that Aleister Black went and confronted him backstage afterwards. I don't know. Do we think that maybe that means we're going to see a program between Killings and Aleister Black?
Well,
I know it took Damian Priest stepping in to calm things down, but like we've been talking about how Aleister Black needs to have a program. Is this it?
Yeah, and I think that I think he's interrupted his last 3 matches, right? Aleister Black's?
I think so.
So the last 2 or 3 matches, I think he's been he's interfered in the match. So I can see that now they're kind of like, okay, well, the fans want Ron Killings. They're going to get him. And they're going to line him up with some of the mid-card people, which is more work. He's done more work over the last month and a half than he's probably done in the last 5 years.
Truth? Killings?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
And so TKO is literally making him work for that money.
I mean, the last time he put in this much work was when he was the 400-day 7-Eleven 24/7 champion.
Yeah, the dumb belt. But
it was dumb. It was funny, but it was dumb.
Yeah, but I mean, they're putting him to work. You got a new contract. Guess what, buddy? You're going to be on TV now. And
obviously, we're going to talk about the fact that he did have the main event with Cena. So that, like you said, I think that, I don't know if it's just them, quote, punishing him for bringing the fans, first forcing them to bring him back. And just like you said, working the hell out of him. But good for him. I mean, it gets his name out there. And when this contract does end up being up, he can be like, look at all the work I did. Yeah, I'm 75 by the time I'm done with WWE. But so then the backstage segment there with between Priest, Black, and Killings led into one Cody Rhodes coming to the ring, only to be interrupted by main event Jay, who talked over Cody, only to be interrupted by one Sami Zayn, who talked over Cody, only to be interrupted by the Viper Randy Orton, only to once again talk over Cody Rhodes, who got absolutely 0 words out this entire segment.
Nope. He was just in the ring. It was hilarious because you seen him laughing too, because it was pretty funny.
Was that intentional or because that was pretty funny, the fact that basically he wasn't allowed to say a single thing.
Well, it made sense for him not to say anything because you got to let the other 3 people get their shine. He doesn't have to say anything. Obviously,
this was all setting up the different quarterfinal matches here between Jay and Cody, and then Orton and Sami. And I liked what all four men had to say. They all made great points as to why they deserve to be in it and win it. And I think that, I don't know, this is the first time in a while where it's been 4 faces like that in a tournament like this, I think.
No, I think it's happened before. But again, the problem is that they don't have enough heels.
And Orton, and we saw it. So this led directly into the semifinal or quarterfinal match with or semifinal match
Final.
with sorry, I'm not good at math. They between Orton and Sami Zayn, and like you said, they don't have enough heels. But the one good thing I will say about Randy Orton is that even when he's a face, he can display heel tendencies.
Mm-hmm.
And in this match against Sami Zayn, he did that enough to let Sammy's heel or to let Sammy's face underdog thing that he has always go on shine through. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you think Orton winning is the right choice?
No.
Your honest thoughts.
Well, I mean, because you're basically lining up Cody versus Randy, right?
Exactly.
Then we already have this.
We did, and I mean, we had it for the title, didn't? No, we didn't. Did they face each other? I don't think they actually faced each other for the title yet, did they?
I thought they did.
We'll have to look into that because I'm not sure if they did or not.
I thought they did get in the circle together. I'm not sure, but
yeah, I don't think they had it yet.
I have to check and see. I could have swore they've already wrestled because he was saying. I remember Cody coming to the ring and like giving him his flowers for helping him out and being part of the what were they called again? Legacy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
I think though that he was just giving him his flowers and talking about how they were going to have to get in the ring at some point because Cody had that long feud with KO, and then KO had that feud with Orton, so there really wasn't time for them to feud over the title.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I could have swore we did this already, but still, I thought it probably would have been a lot more interesting to have Cody versus Sami, or if you really want to swerve us all, put Jay versus Sami.
So Mike and I talked about it on Monday, and I thought that the winner of this would telegraph who the person winning on Monday would be.
Yeah.
That if Orton won, you can pretty much guarantee it would be a Cody win. But if Sami won, I'd expect a Jay win because those are the better storylines. The only storyline that wouldn't have been as exciting would have been Randy and Jay. Randy versus Cody is great. Sami versus Cody is great. Sami versus Jay is great. Like, so you have 3 real good ones and 1 okay. I'm disappointed because I wanted them to have Sami win it all. I felt like this was the time where you could finally give Sami his shot to win the title and have it make sense. Because it's another case of SummerSlam. Sami gets there, faces Gunther, beats Gunther, and who's there with the Money in the Bank briefcase? And why? Tell me how much sense that doesn't make to have Seth steal that moment from Sami.
Yeah. I mean, I can definitely see where you're going with that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. To tell you the truth, I guess deep down inside, it didn't matter to me who won because at the end of all this, Cody's going to probably win the whole thing.
Yeah,
so, I'm not too worried. I think Cody gets the belt back. I'm thinking they're angling Cody to take the belt back at SummerSlam from John. If they're going to take the belt off him that soon, I'd be shocked. Just because I don't know. Well, hang on, hold on. I take it back. He's used quite a few days already, hasn't he?
He's got, I think, like 17 left.
And you still have half a year to go.
Maybe 15. So he'll probably, if he loses the belt to Cody at SummerSlam, he probably takes a month or 2 off.
That's what I'm thinking. And then, he'll continue it, later in the year. Come back and whatever is going to happen is going to happen. Maybe he has a change of heart. He goes back to being the old John Cena again. Who knows? But if Cody doesn't take it off at SummerSlam, he's probably, in my opinion, is probably going to have it till the end of the year.
Until SummerSlam, or not until Survivor Series, yeah.
Yeah, it's have it.
How about this for a swerve? What if Seth cashed in on this belt?
What? Which one?
The belt Cena's currently holding. Cody gets the SummerSlam with Cena. They're both down. Seth comes in, cashes in and pins Cena, stealing the belt from out under Cody.
I could see that.
How about that for a swerve?
I could see that.
Because nobody would see it coming. With Seth spending all this time on Raw, like, I think that would be so far out of left field that other than me mentioning it now, I don't hear anybody talking about something like that happening.
Yeah, I could see that. I agree. I wouldn't mind that.
And it gives Seth and his group a change of scenery, and it lets you get back, and it ties back into everything that went on between Seth and Cody. And hell, Cena can come back from his time off as a face to face Seth.
I mean, yeah, you could definitely go that direction too. I just don't. What if it's Cena that joins Roman Reigns at the end of all this?
As a face?
Going after Seth. So if they pull that off, Cena would have to team up with Roman.
Yeah, well, that could be his face turn. Roman goes to Cena, convinces him to come back and join him, and there's your face turn for Cena.
Yeah. And then you can almost do this as a passing of the torch from John to Roman Reigns. Like, this, you've taken over for me.
That, and even better, it can allow what my predicted final match for Cena to come through. Cena joins Roman, turns face. The Rock comes back and says, "What the hell are you doing, John? You were my guy," leading to Cena's final match against Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. As much as I hate the idea of that, I'm still committed to, I think that's going to be his last match.
That match is literally going to be less than 5 minutes.
I hate it, but I'm convinced that that's what's going to be, because of The Rock's ego.
That match, it's got to be a main event on something.
It's gonna be the main event of Survivor Series.
Ugh.
Because The Rock debuted at Survivor Series. The Rock's ego demands that he be the center of attention. It will be the main event at Survivor Series.
The poor man can't move around the ring anymore. He's gassed. I don't want to see him in the ring ever again. I don't
either, but you know what's coming.
It's possible, yeah.
Because then you have, because I don't expect Cena to win that match. I expect him to go out on a loss because it happens a lot. But then you can finally get into your Rock versus Roman at Mania. Because if you have Cena working with Roman at that time, you can set up your storyline from there.
Yeah, I can see that. I agree.
Like, it feels like their Triple H is doing a lot of long-term booking here. At least that's what it feels like to me. Like, I don't know if it's going to come down the way that I said, but you could tell that he's planting the seeds in all these different stories, and like Mike likes to say, building this universe around it all. And it makes everything so much more entertaining and fun to watch.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we've been talking about with all the belts, is they're falling apart, and with the belts like the Intercontinental belt, the tag team belts. I mean, I guess they're doing more with the US Championship belt than they are in the Intercontinental belt.
Yep.
So yeah, you have to build a universe around each one of these belts in order to keep the storylines moving and keep things interesting. I mean, you're just going to keep having sideshow matches like, Priest and McIntyre for an entire year. You're not going to get away with that no more. People are tired. They're going to probably demand more.
Yep. I mean, you can only watch the same match so many times, which is actually a really good segue into the next segment here, where Nia Jax bounded her way out to the ring athletically to say her piece about Tiffany Stratton, as if she had never spoken a word about her before. Obviously, she ran her mouth about how she took Tiffany under her wing, yada, yada, yada. I'm Nia Jax. I'm the greatest woman ever. And basically the exact same promo that she gives every single time. For Tiffany to come out and basically tell Nia that, "Oh, lucky you, I just got a match set up for next week, the night before Night of Champions." Kind of surprised they're not actually doing it on Night of Champions. But uh, of Nia versus Tiffany. And for the love of God, hopefully, what will be the last match between the two of them, because it's going to be a last woman standing match.
Yeah.
And if ever there was a stipulation to a goddamn match, last person standing should be the final match.
That's it. That's it. I mean, I don't know how many times you're going to do this ring around the rosy with these two. And again, Nia has fallen to that. Well, she was already there probably before Charlotte in that situation of we're tired of you cramming her into storylines for belts. I don't know why they're coming back to this. It makes no sense to me. You haven't done nothing with Tiffany since.
No.
It's that storyline. So, I mean, you've just been holding on to this. You got no plans for her either. That's basically what I see. It's like to me, you have no plans for it. And
Right.
you're just trying to wing it.
She literally had her feud with Nia, won the belt, finished her feud with Nia to get into her WrestleMania feud with Charlotte, only to all of a sudden be back in a feud with Nia. It's like it's a never-ending feud. And it's like, why? There are so many other women that she can be feuding with. Even if it's like going up against people that we obviously know aren't going to win. Give us a stupid feud against Michin for like a month. Like something stupid. Anything but Nia Jax at this point. And then obviously she overpowered Tiffany, leg dropped her a couple times. Naomi came out to try and cash in, and as we talked about earlier, was blocked once again by Nia Jax. Like we said, I feel like this is going to become a kind of a running gag with her until she finally cashes in. But I don't know. I feel like speaking for Mike, even though he's not here, I probably could say he agrees with us that for the love of God, this feud needs to be over. And Nia Jax needs to go crawl back into whatever rock that The Rock found her under and just go away for a while.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
All right. So going after this, we had a short backstage segment between Charlotte and confronting Chelsea Green because of Chelsea's lackey Alba Fire basically causing her to not win the Queen of the Ring qualifier. We got a match between Flair and Chelsea. Obviously, we knew that how this match was going to go. No surprise, Charlotte win to LOL. I think the thing coming out of this, Chelsea looked pretty good, I will say, against Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she had a couple points where it looked like she might have a chance. She hit the Rough Rider on her, but obviously was tapped out by the figure eight. I mean, pretty much everything by the book for a Charlotte Flair match here, though, right?
Yeah, I thought it was kind of hilarious that she takes off the mask in the middle of the match, and I'm just like, okay, here we go. This is great. But yeah, it was a good match. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I still think Chelsea. I don't think she's a mid card person. I think she should be an upper tier wrestler, women's wrestler. She should be in the middle of those title discussions and stuff. You can fluctuate her from back and forth, but I think she should be involved over Nia when it comes to those belts. It's probably my better choice in my opinion.
Oh, 100%. I mean, you know my thoughts because you guys laughed at me for my placement of Chelsea on my top 5 women of WWE currently. But you're right. She has the talent to be in top feuds. Like, hell, why couldn't we have had a month-long feud with her and Tiffany? Like, instead of the 4-month feud, I guess that's the one good thing is at least she's done feuding with Zelina Vega.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like, and the fact that Wade Barrett is such a homer for her is pretty funny too. But like we said, nothing crazy out of this one. Next up after that, we had Solo Sikoa waiting in the ring to talk to Jacob Fatu and request that he tell him that he loved him and come back to the bloodline. Obviously, that did not go so well for Solo. Jacob didn't fall for his BS. He hit him with his tagline of "all breaks, no gas, shamalama ding dong," or whatever he says. And Solo tried to cheap shot him. I mean, are we happy that this feud is finally coming to fruition at a decent pace?
Oh yeah, absolutely, and it's only right that it was going to go this way. Now the question is, Jacob obviously is going to be feuding with them. They're going to bring in Hikuleo, whatever his name is, Hikuleo.
Yep.
They'll probably bring him in during this match when they wrestle each other, and they're going to jump him in the ring. So Jacob,
So
I think Jacob does end up teaming up with Roman at some point.
obviously Jimmy came to the ring to help rescue him. Do we think he teams up with Jimmy first?
I think he's going to be the catalyst between Roman and him.
Then Jimmy brings Jacob back to Roman. Oh yeah, because Jacob never worked with Roman.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is, so obviously this sets us up for a U.S. title match booked for Night of Champions. Do we think that that's where Hikuleo interferes and Jacob loses the belt temporarily?
I don't think he loses the belt. I think it turns into a DQ.
A DQ finish?
I think they jump him.
I'd prefer that than a cheap shot costing Jacob the belt. I think that he needs to have a decently long run with this belt because he's obviously good. He's people like him, and he's going to be. He can obviously go in the ring pretty damn well. My only question is he aware that he always puts his shirt on backwards?
It's very weird. I will say
Like
that it's very weird. I mean,
every
I thought the Chris Cross jump days were over with, but apparently Jacob Fatu has not realized we're in 2025.
yes, that I thought that, and I wanted to make note of that. The fact that he can't dress himself, but when you're moving that fast, it can't break. Obviously, that's what happens.
It just looks very odd because I don't know when he's talking as if you're just looking at that jersey, like, dude,
Yep,
it's going backwards, man.
it's kind of distracting. So then moving on from that, we got our second to last match of the night. We got LA Knight versus Bronson Reed. Going into this, did you think this match was going to have a clean ending?
Oh, you knew that wasn't going to happen. I mean, so they announced it. You're like, there's no way nobody's winning that match. It's obvious that they're just in line to jump LA Knight to the end of this one. That was a given. They did beat the snot out of them, though. I give you that.
The match was pretty good. I will give it that. Bronson Reed, since he's come back from his injury, has been impressing me. I don't know if that's just the working with Rollins in that. But I kind of thought that Bronson was going to win clean and just kind of squish him in this. Like he got distracted.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I shouldn't have been shocked that Braun Breaker interfered and they just beat the living hell out of him. I mean, he took what, 2 spears and 3 tsunamis?
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. They're not doing as good a job with Bronson as they have with Braun in terms of dominating in the ring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They keep referring to Braun. They keep referring to him as a beast and these monsters in the ring. But really, truthfully, the only person you ever feel that has the feeling of being a threat in the ring is Braun. So hopefully Bronson, they got to give him something so that he can feel as though there's some sort of threat with him. But he hasn't really done anything to the level I think that they've been allowing Braun Breaker to do.
That's part of why I think the tag titles going on them would be huge. I've been thinking about it while we've been talking. I actually don't think they're going to win the tag titles until Seth wins the main title. But do you think it's intentional?
I disagree.
You know,
I think they get it before that. I mean, that's the catalyst right there.
Okay, I can see that. But do you think it might be partially intentional that they're still having Braun look a little bit better than Bronson?
Well, see, that's my point. Is I don't know. I mean, Bronson has had every moment in the ring to look dominant, but it just doesn't. You just don't feel it. You know what I mean? So when you're putting those two guys together, you're doing a comparison. Braun, anybody with the naked eye is going to say he's the more threatening of the two. I just don't like them referring to them both as monsters and beasts, where it's only one of them really is that's threatening. The other guy's just kind of there.
I think part of the problem is that Braun is more of the complete package than Bronson is. Like Braun didn't really need to have Heyman as a mouthpiece. Braun can cut promos. Braun can do, like I said, he comes across as much more of a complete package than Bronson.
Well, but just to give you a little pushback, I don't know if I agree with that because they're not even letting him talk anymore. All he does is bark now.
Because he doesn't need to. I mean, you have Heyman there. Obviously, once it comes down to the fact that once Bronson and Braun are done with Rollins, then you'll start getting actual promos from Braun himself again. But
Oh,
when
yeah.
you have Paul Heyman as your mouthpiece, I mean, and Seth Rollins, you don't have to talk. They can do all the goddamn talking.
Yeah, I agree with
Um,
that.
and then even with LA Knight getting squashed here, I do think that this feud with Rollins' group is going to end up being real good for him.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully.
And then, so following this matchup, we got our main event of the night of Ron R-Truth Killings versus John Ruining Wrestling Cena, the last real champion. Um, I don't know. I almost feel like this match didn't need to happen. Um, it was just more of the same again. Like I almost rather Cena would have actually won than gotten straight up DQ'd. I feel like the DQ finish was kind of a waste of time, especially because he didn't like continue attacking Truth afterwards. Like Punk ran out to attack Cena at the end, but I feel like it would have been more of an impact if Cena would have been beating down Killings a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I just, like I said, I feel like this was kind of a little bit of a waste.
Well, that's my point with the Cena. That's why it's getting confusing with people because it's almost like now he's playing this. It was kind of like when they did that with Stone Cold, if you remember that. All of a sudden he's scared, he's running from people and all this. It's like, well, I mean, now you're going completely against, you know, the character that we know and the personality of that character. So they're doing the same thing with John. It's like John's rolling out the ring, throwing his hands up. I mean, like,
Yeah,
that's why I told you a few weeks ago. I said there's times for John. It feels like it's just not authentic.
yep.
He's not selling it well enough.
That and then the fact that so many people are starting to turn Cena's way and cheer Cena is, I don't know that I like that. I mean, the guy's out here talking about ruining wrestling, and why are people cheering that?
Well, because they know it's not real.
Yeah, that's not something you would want. Like, you'd want to cheer though. Like, I
But
guess, I guess, I
but
guess
that's
it's,
the argument is why are we even doing this? Because it's not believable.
I guess it's just me wanting to believe in kayfabe.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, I know, I get it, but I just don't understand why they went this way, and they went so hard and aggressively and fast. So there was no build up to this. It was just all of a sudden John's now heel, and you got no reasoning for it. When Stone Cold changed, I mean, they had the whole, him and McMahon, something they never done before. Him and McMahon, made a deal and all this other crap. But John, you don't know what the deal was with The Rock.
Right. Like, it comes back to that never finishing the story where Rock just showed up and then disappeared and we still have no answer.
Yeah. So I mean, this is why it feels like it's not very organic or authentic because we don't know why. We haven't really got a real good explanation as to why they're going these lengths.
One last comment on the whole Cena and him wrestling and everything. I will say that as time has progressed here, I feel like he's looking a little bit better in the ring. I don't know if he's sort of shaking off the ring rust, but
Mm-hmm.
he's looking a little bit better every match.
Yeah. Yeah, he's starting to get a little more stamina in the ring. He's starting to move around the ring a little more. I mean, for him, obviously he's got to work his way into up to SummerSlam, where I think it's going to end up being his best match because he's going to have enough time under his belt to really get prepared for it. More than we could say with The Rock when he got in the ring. I mean, just
Yeah,
it was
who
it literally, when The Rock was in the ring, it really looked like an old man was moving around the ring.
it was like the world's slowest people's elbow.
Yes, it was good.
But yeah, no. So overall, pretty eventful SmackDown. A lot of storyline progression. The King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring stuff was pretty good. What kind of rating would you give it?
This particular show, I'd probably give a 4. I'd probably give it a high 4. I thought the pacing was better this week. I thought some of the storylines were better this week. The promos were better this week. we're finding some direction with some storylines now that we've been waiting to see. But again, I mean, there are some still question marks which we question on this particular cast, but I give it a 4.
I think I'd agree. Like I said earlier in the show, I thought it was one of the best SmackDowns in a while. It had the perfect mix of in-ring action and storyline progression to make it all round out pretty well. So I'd agree. I'd give it a 4 out of 5. But so that's it for this show. Obviously, thank you for tuning into the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast. Make sure that you like, subscribe, hit the notification button. We are getting close to that 100 subscriber that we've been talking about. Once we get there, we will do that giveaway of some sort. And keep an eye out because we're going to probably have some football videos coming out this weekend and Monday Night Raw with the last 2 matches of the semifinals for the King and Queen of the Ring. We're going to follow that up. And this week, keep your eye out for our prediction video for Night of Champions to see who can stay in the lead here, or maybe there's a change up. I mean, maybe T can come back and take the lead from me, but I'm not going to hold my breath. But thanks again for everybody for tuning in. You guys have a great day and a great weekend.